All right, guys, today we've got a 3.5-month-old pup here. He's had a collar on a leash, leash and a collar on him before, but I'm going to go over what we're doing with him just one time, maybe two. We're going to have distractions in here today. So Rand's just, I'm going to go through the process of what we're trying to do. We're not trying to build Rome here in one day. I've got Bones here. He's 5.5, coming 6 months old. And we're going to get him broke to an e-collar today. So I'm going to work on two different pups at once here. And Rianne is just getting these pups softened up to the collar. No pinch collar, just a straight up collar. And she just wants them softened up, given to the pressure a little bit. And she's going to take off and walk around, and we're going to get him to understand to give to the pressure. That's it. And sometimes the best way to do that is to walk away from your pup instead of into your pup. So walk away from him hard right, Ran. At the end of your leash. The end of your leash. Yeah. Yep. There. That's what you're looking for. So you can make those corrections. And it doesn't even have to be, when you're first starting this out, it doesn't even have to be that the pup is on your left or your right side. He's going to be all over the place the first time. He's going to be in front of you and behind you and between your legs and everywhere else. What you're looking for, there's what he's doing, is for him to give to that pressure. That's all we're asking of him. And we're not looking, the first time we do this, we're standing still. And we've got a 5 or 6 foot leash. That's just a Petco. Yulee is the brand, Yulee. And they work pretty good. Nylon leash. They've got some feel to them for a plastic compound. And you can feel they're 5.5 feet long, and you can feel what your pup is doing without having to stare at him all the time. So basically that's all we're looking for. And you know, when we're standing still the first time, this is the very first time he's had a collar on him, he's going to be at the end of that leash trying to figure it out. And you just got to stand there and be relaxed and be calm and give him the opportunity to come towards you. It doesn't work good just to be jerking on him and putting him in more pain. We're looking for them to respond positively, and when to the pressure, and when they do that, then you release your pressure. And you kind of see what Rand's doing, walk in circles, figure eights, you know, and she may stop and let him run off, drift off, hold still and let him drift off if he will. But what we're looking for, as long as he's in her space right there, she needs to praise him a little bit. She needs to let him know. And if she wants him on a specific side, the left side, then she needs to just kind of encourage him around to the left side, get him in the space, release the pressure, and when he stays there just like that, you need to bend over and praise. You don't got to say anything. You just want that dog to enjoy being in that space with you. And you know, this is the fastest, easiest, best way to get your pup's leash broke. So for those of you that have got a pup from me, post litter test, this is your first step, in my opinion. Some guys don't even put a collar on them. First thing they do is get a collar on them, get used to it. I start wearing a collar in the kennel. I don't put collars on pups that are sharing a kennel because they eat them off of each other. Then they use them to pull each other around. So basically, you're just looking for little wins, and we're not looking to wear him out completely. We need to end again on a positive note. You need to read your pup and not overwork him, but not underwork him. Make sure he's got a chance to blow off steam before you do this. So before we do any of this, we usually put him out in the playpen, 2 or 3 or whatever we have, 6 pups, and we let them run around and play, and then we take them out one at a time. So they've got a chance to waste some of the energy that they've had. If you just got one pup, then you probably just want to take him out into a space that he can just run around and be free. Whatever that takes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and then get him caught up, put the collar on him, and start putting structure to it. Give him a chance to waste that energy. So with Bones here, what we're working on with him today is conditioning him to an e-collar. So I've got the e-collar on him already. I've got it up behind the ears. It's a little loose. We want it, the fitment on the e-collar should be snug, not too tight, but snug behind the ears, right on the back of the neck. Exact same fitment as a pinch collar. And I've got whatever this is, 25 feet maybe of check cord. And he knows that I'm just letting him drag this check cord. We've worked on recall with a check cord from him. So if your dog is this far along with a check cord, you may not need an e-collar. Again, you got to learn to read your dog. You got to understand, just because this pup is coming 6 months old, doesn't mean all of them are ready for an e-collar at that age. Some of them are not till 10. Some of them are not till 14 months old. It just depends on the pup and what you've done previously. So what I'm trying to do with him is get him set up to move away from me. I'll bring other distractions in here too if I can't get him away from me, because what I'm looking to do is I've got my controller set on one. Mine has momentary and continuous stimulation. I never use momentary. Just a waste of a setting to me. It's always on continuous because I can hold it for as long as I want until it clears itself out. 10 seconds, I think, is what that is. Or if I want it for just a split second, I just bump it once. If I want it for 2 seconds, what I'm looking for is a response. Again, pressure and release. And a lot of these pups have already had a pinch collar on them. So they're already conditioned to give to that pressure on the neck with the pinch collar before we put the e-collar on. Never, 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 this is my opinion, put an e-collar on a dog that hasn't been conditioned to a pinch collar. The reason for that is it's going to make your life a whole lot simpler. You're gonna find out that that dog understands the pressure on his neck. Every dog's going to be different. Some of these dogs are going to freak out at 1. Some of these pups are going to freak out at 6. You just don't know. You got to read your dog. That's the biggest thing with that. And the reason I'm showing you with a pup is because he's so sensitive. Ludi, Mo, come here. Come here, guys. Ludi, Mo, come here. Let's go. Rev, come here. Walk through. Good. Now this is what I'm looking for. I want him to be more interested in something besides me. Rev, Ludi, come here. I don't generally, when they're young like this, do it on stock. However, I will do it on stock if they're older. So what I'm looking for is when he's distracted by another dog, I'm going to say his name. I use name recognition to teach the e-collar. So I hold the button, I say the name, hold the button down, and until he looks at me. Bones. Bones, good, good boy. That was on 1. The dog does not have to yipe and freak out for it to work. That doesn't mean it worked. You can get the response you want by the stimulation. You're trying to get him set up between the ears to understand bones, bones, good boy, good dog. Bones, good boy. Now what I'm going to do, that was on 1, I'm going to move up to 2. Good boy. I'm going to walk over here to Rand. Ludi, let's go. Good. Something else I do like to do just to free up my hands sometimes more is I'll just tie this around my belt, my check cord. Good boy, Mom. You're looking for little opportunities. Good. And this dog, you know, Rand's done some check cord work with him on name recognition and recall. So Bones, good boy. Good. So it's making my job easy. So what's happening, as soon as I say his name, I'm hitting the button and I'm holding it for only as long as I need to until he comes back to me. Trying to snap his brain out of where he's at. Bones, Bones, good boy. I did it again there. And I'm trying to not go Bones, 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 say his name 40 times. I want it to have some purpose when I say his name. Good boy. And when he comes back to that, make sure you release your pressure. Good. Here's a good setup. Bones, Bones, good. I'm going to turn it up to 3 this time now. Good boy. Good dog. Good. Why I keep dialing it up is I'm trying to find what's too much on the e-collar setting. Good boy. Good. Rev place. Good. And when I find too much, if 3 is too much, then I dial it back down to 2. If I hold both buttons down, I get more stimulation on that setting. So good boy. And we got this pup ran done a little bit too good of a job. So here's what I'm going to do. Normally it takes 10, 15, sometimes 2 or 3 sessions, 10, 15 minutes of 2 or 3 sessions to get the dog to give to that pressure. So I'm going to drop the cord. I'm going to keep it on me. Try and get him to wander off while I'm talking to you. And if we cut out here, it's because I'm trying to get him to cut off. So bones, bones, good. Good boy. Good dog, buddy. Good. Come here. Bones. Good. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Good dog. Make sure your collar stays snug. Sometimes you get it on the pup and he starts wandering around. Bones. Good. Atta boy. So I'm on 3 now. I don't know that I really want to go or need to go any higher than that at this point. I'm going to leave it right there. Bones. Good boy. Come here. Come here. And the only time I'm giving him stimulation right now is when I say his name. That's it. Good. Bones. Bones. Good boy. Good. And when I get a distraction, I use it. We'll walk him into this pup now. And I'm expecting him to go. Bones. Good boy. If you have a pup that's hypersensitive or is not getting this, you want that check cord on so that they don't just freak out and run off. Again, start at the lowest setting. You can even start if you have a vibration setting. You can start at that. Good boy. Good. Good. So again, I'm looking for distractions. The best thing I could do with him right now, which I don't have one here with me, or I would throw it in, is throw a pup his age in here. Because he's doing so well and he's paying attention to me so well. I just keep throwing things at him until we find a breaking point. And we haven't found a breaking point on him yet. Good boy. Ignoring him doesn't work, so I'm trying to give him an opportunity to run off. Luke, Moog, come here. Good. So sometimes you've got to just purposely, good girl, ignore and pay attention to everybody else so he thinks you're not paying attention to him. Good boy. Good. And I still can't get it. Bones. Good boy. Again, Bones. Come here, Bones. Good boy. Bones. Bones. He's feeling that. Bones. Bones. Come here. There we go. That was on 4, guys. So I found the number that got him squirrely. Good. Good boy. So now I know. Good boy. Good. That's a good dog. Good boy. He just squeaked a little bit. I don't know if the microphone picked it up or not, but that was it. Good. Good boy. Good. Moran, walk him over here and try and your pup and try and create a distraction for me. Good. Bones. Good boy. Bones. Good. Good boy. Good. Good dog. Good boy. That was on 4. He squeaked again. Yiped. Turn it back down to 3. I don't need 4. He understands what it is now. Now I need to start turning it back down. The whole thing is when you find that position to where it's putting the pup in pain, to where he's making noise or freaking out, now you're working your way back down to 1. In a perfect world, you'll be back down to 1. So hopefully we get that. And if not today, there'll be another day because he's on good behavior today. I'll bring in 2 or 3 or 4 or half a dozen other pups. We'll put them down here in the arena And I'm working on Bones, so the other 5 get to do whatever they want. Run around and fight and growl and bark at the cattle in the alleyway and carry on. He has to pick up on name recognition. I've done the e-collar several different ways. This is the best way to condition for me. Tie the check cord off to the fence. You know, and not all the pups are going to handle it as well as he's handling it. Rev, that'll do. Rev, that'll do. Come here. But he's doing pretty good with it. And, you know, I didn't just pull him out of the kennel. He's been in the kennel for 2 or 3 days. He got out and got work this morning. He's got a chance to blow off some steam. Bones, 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 good boy. Bones, good boy. Come on, come here. Good boy. Good. That's a dog. Good boy. Good. Good pup. Good boy. I could have went up to 4 there, but I left it where it was. You've kind of got to feel that out with each pup. He was giving me recognition, but he wasn't coming through. And all I'm trying to do is get him to focus back on me when I call his name. And it's the best way to teach recall, name recognition. You know, the inside flank thing on that we just went over with Toots on Patreon, where I need her to look back at me. That name recognition is so important, and here's where you get it. And it's, you know, if I can do it at 6 months old with an e-collar, I would much rather do it at 6 months old than at 10 months old, if the dog can handle it. And if the dog can handle it, no matter if it's 6 months old, 10 months old, 12 months old, all is up to the handler. So this is how I do it. Doesn't always go this well. This went really, really well. But this is how we end right here. This is a good spot to end. This pup is glued to me. If I want, I can take the check cord off of him now. Good boy, Bones. That's a boy. Good dog. And see what happens. I trust this pup enough now to probably be able to get him back inside this arena on a check cord. But don't take your dog, your pup, your dog, whatever, out the patch for the first time, not understanding pressure and release, not understanding what his job is supposed to be when you call his name and give him pressure on leash. If he can't understand that, or on a check cord, don't do it with an e-collar. And I think that's a big thing where I see some guys make a mistake. They're just gonna, and myself included, they're just gonna punish the dog when he doesn't even know what the e-collar, what that stimulation means. So set your dog up to win, set yourself up to win, start yourself out in a controlled environment, just like Rand's doing. I'm gonna go back to Rand here and show her that she is now setting this pup up, show you guys that she is now setting this pup up to get these results with a check cord and eventually an e-collar out of your pups as we're going along. And this is why we do this collar and leash breaking on these pups so young, because they get it. They don't all do this well either. This is, you know, this is a very smart pup. This whole litter's been this way. We haven't had to spend a lot of time on any of them, getting them used to the collar and the leash. Same thing with these guys here. They do real well. So your breeding obviously helps in these situations, but at the end of the day, you got the pup you got. The buck stops with the handler. And I think that everybody needs to understand that you get out of your dog what you put into it. And by putting that in now at 3 months old, you get this out now at 6 months old. And this pup wants to be with me. I've taught him recognition. I've taught him why he wants to be with me, because I like him, because he's going to make a really nice dog. And, you know, he just, to get to the next level where I am with some of these older dogs that you've seen on some of my other videos, this is where it starts. You got to get the foundation and you got to do the boring stuff. And that's my opinion. And this makes all the difference in the world. This is what I want out of the dog. This, you cannot express enough how important this is. This pup is setting down now. The best thing, a 10 out of 10 would be he's laying down on my feet right now, but he's actually sitting here leaning up against me. He's in my space, which is where I want him, and he's leaning up against me. That means I got it. I'm good. We're good. Now we're going to extend this and we're going to make it more difficult, a little more difficult. We're going to keep leveling up here. It's going to be more dogs in here that are more his age that he wants to play with. None of these guys want to play with him, really. And then we're going to go outside and he's going to learn to, you know, handle the pressure of the e-collar outside. And that's your job. Don't take him with 6 other puppies his age and him the only one's got an e-collar and run him through a bunch of deer. Set yourself up to win. Take him by himself. And if you only have one dog, it makes your job even easier. So anyway, guys, there we go. That's my 10 right there. Good boy, Bones. That's what we're looking for. That's why we do it. And that's, you know, how it pays off for you in the long run. So put in the time. It doesn't take that much time, but be thoughtful and be working in a way that you set yourself and your pup up to win, and it'll pay off. You know, 6-8 months from now with this dog, it's really going to pay off. A year from now with that pup, it's really going to pay off. So, all right, guys, hope this helps you out. Catch you later.